Okay, so now we need to pick up where we left off, and we're almost done with this problem, believe it or not. So, just to recap real quick, we took all the numbers from the problem, put them in the chart. We wrote equations or inequalities, we call them constraints, for each complete row that we had in our chart. We read the problem, it said we want to maximize our score. So we figured out this is how we calculate the score, 10 points for every A, 15 points for every B. We drew a picture of everything and noticed that all the shading overlapped in this region right here. And this is the corners of the region. The corners, some of them we already had labeled and knew. That one, and there's usually one or two that you have to figure out. And we figured it out by looking where our blue and our red lines cross each other. I did elimination and came up with that point. Now, the answer to the question is one of these points. To figure out which one it is, take each point, I'll start with 0, 0, that's the easiest one. If I don't do, remember, X is the A questions, and B is the Y questions. If I don't do any A questions, and I don't do any B questions, then what will my score be? 0 plus 0, right? So that actually is my minimum score. My minimum score is a 0. I want my maximum score, okay? So what if I do no X's, but 10 Y's? No X's, but 10 Y's. What will be my score? 150. I'm just plugging it in, kids, right there. Plugging it in. So what if I do 16 X's and no Y's? 16 X's and no Y's. 160. And then what if I do 12 X's and 4 Y's? You can use your calculator to help you with your arithmetic. 12 X's and 4 Y's would give me what score? 180. Now, what was our objective? Score as many points as we could. So, what are we going to do? We're going to answer 12 A questions, 4 B questions, and get a score of 180. And that is the last step of the problem. You physically write out, I will answer, what was it, 12 A questions and 4 B questions for a score of 180. And before you whine about, you need to write that out, you guys, you've already invested so much time in this problem, you need to finish it properly. Write one sentence indicating this is what is the best thing to do. Okay? And you're done. Okay? All right, let's do the next one. Now, unfortunately, I keep saying to myself, I'm going to add a chart to this page, and I always forget to do it. So let me draw the chart for you. And then, because on the test, you will have a chart. I will never ask you to do one of these problems without me constructing the chart. So I'll construct the chart for you here, and then we'll look at the rest of the questions. So here's somewhere on the paper, like over here, up here in the corner or something, you're going to make a chart. And the chart is going to, let's see, if farmer has a field of 70 acres in which he plants potatoes. Okay, so we have potatoes and we have corn. And we'll have total. All right, seed. And that's the chart, so you're gonna go ahead and draw that chart. And then, after you get it drawn, see if you can fill in any numbers in the right spots. So read the problem. Every number from the problem needs to go somewhere in the chart. Okay? And we'll figure out what our constraints are and what we're gonna max or minimize. And we'll draw a picture of it. And we'll get our answer somehow. So take a minute, we're gonna work through this here together, so we don't have a ton of time. Where does the 70 go? The first number I see in the problem is 70. We're total acres. So look at your chart, the way I have it set up, total acres. I hope you put the 70 there. Okay? The seed costs $20 an acre for potatoes. So potato seed is $20. So potato seed, $20. Corn seed is 60. And the total seed is 3,000. Would everybody agree with that? This is like seed cost. The profit for potatoes is 150. And the profit for corn is 50. And I want to find the optimal solution for the problem. What do you think that even means? What is this farmer trying to do? He wants to make the biggest profit he can, right? Doesn't he want to maximize his profit? Isn't that what every business person wants to do? So, how do we calculate his profit? $150 for a potato and $50 for a corn. Now, how many acres of potatoes am I planting? Do I know? Let's call that X. Isn't that what we're trying to figure out? And then Y, how much corn? So my profit is 150 for every X and 50 for every Y. And you know eventually we're gonna have a picture, we're gonna have ordered pairs, and we're gonna plug them in right there. That's where we plug in. We don't graph that, we plug in. We graph this stuff. All right, so let's go across the row. This is 20 X's plus 60 Y's has to add up to be less than or equal to 3,000. Because remember, he only has $3,000. So whatever he spends has to be less than or equal to that. And this is what he's spending. Every acre of potatoes costing $20. Every acre of corn costing 60. So adding that together has to be less than 3,000. All right, what does this one say? X plus Y is less than or equal to 70? Because X is how many acres of potatoes, Y is how many acres of corn, how many acres does he have on his farm? 70. So whatever he plants has to be less than or equal to 70. And then what are kind of the two that are always hanging around? X and Y are both positive. That's why we only do this much. So on your paper, make a dark line. This is the Y-axis, and this is the X-axis. Don't put a cross in the middle of it. This is the farthest to the left is Y, and the bottom is X. Outline it like this. All right? Now we're going to graph. Here we go. Feel free to use a calculator. If I let x be 0, then what is y? No, right here, I put where my hand is. Y is 50. So maybe I'll let these be 10s this time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm gonna label that 0, 50. But I let my hash marks be 10s. 50's a lot. I wouldn't go by 1s. You could go by 5s if you wanted to, if that's easier for you. And then what if I let y be 0? 150. So would that be 15 for me? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And you're going to extend your line. Each of my hash marks is 10. I don't know what you have done. Mine are all 10s. So I plotted the point 0, 50 and the point 150. That's 150. 0. And where would that one be shaded? Below. Less than means below. They're not going to get weird and complicated like in the algebra class. Less than is going to mean below. All right, here we go. If x is 0, y is 70. And if y is 0, x is 70. My red marker's running out. And where is that shaded? Below. So once again, we have formed a shape. I'm going to slow down here so you can catch up. But hopefully on your paper, you have a shape that looks like this. That is shaded red and blue both. Agreed? Anybody remember what the next step is now? Once we've grabbed, now we gotta find the points. So some of them are easy, 0, 50, 0, 0, 70, 0. And then I got this one, right? I am gonna look at the two equations that make that point, which are my red one and my blue one. This was my red one. So my equations are 20x plus 60y equals 3,000, and x plus y is 70. Now you're going to substitute or eliminate whatever you are comfortable with. I'm going to multiply this one by -20. That's because I like to eliminate. Do whatever you want. The answer is going to be the same. I got 30, 40, but I'd like somebody to check that for me or agree or disagree with that. I'll wait. I got y is 40, and then I plugged it back in here and got 30. Okay, so now last step, we're almost done. You are almost finished with this problem. What do we need to do? Got to take each x and y and plug it in here. So use my calculator. 150 times 30 plus 50 times So if he plants 30 acres and 40 acres, he's gonna make $6,500. All right? What if this one's gonna be or what about this one? What if he doesn't plant anything? Then it's 0. Remember, this figure always gives you a maximum and a minimum. So there's the minimum. Don't plant anything, don't make any money. How about 70, 0? Ooh, that's 10, 5. So what are you gonna tell this guy to do? The farmer should, what should the farmer do? The farmer should plant all 70 acres of potatoes. I don't know if that's yes or not. In order to make how much money? $10,500? Alright, that's pretty amazing, you guys. You're doing great. We're gonna do one more and then we'll be done for the day, okay? One more. Okay, this one's all set up for you. This is exactly what your test will look like. Everything will be ready for you to start putting in numbers. So while I am getting mine set up, would you start filling in numbers? Okay. The total number of workers' hours per day available for production is 85. Where does the 85 go? Oh, am I in the wrong problem?
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Okay. I turned the page over and I shouldn't have. Okay, great. Luckily, I'm not too far. Okay. All right. It takes a tailoring firm 2 hours of cutting and 4 hours of sewing to make a knit suit. So here's the knit suit. Cutting for a knit is 2, and sewing for a knit is 4. Does that make sense to everybody? To make the worsted suit, it takes 4 hours of cutting and 2 hours of sewing. 20 hours are available for cutting. So the cutting total is 20. And 16 for sewing. The profit on a knit is $34, and on a worsted is $31. How many kind of each suit should be made to maximize profit? And then what is the profit? Okay. This is what we're trying to find. Total profit is what we're trying to find. So that box is always going to be empty. All right? But that's okay because we don't write an equation for this. This is what you're trying to maximize. So, wait a second. I don't have any variables. What should I do about that? Make them. So maybe let X be knit suits and Y the worsted suits. So 34X plus 31Y is how I will calculate my profit. $34 for every X, $31 for every Y. You with me on that? All right, what are my constraints then? Here we go, need a row. What's that row say right there? 2X plus 4Y is less than or equal to 20. And 4X plus 2Y is less than or equal to 16. Are you staying with me, guys? Right here. And then X and Y are both positive. And I don't need to graph those because I already did by setting up quadrant 1. Okay. Do a green one this time. It's going to be my green equation right here. So if I cover up X, it looks like Y is 5. 0, 5. And if I cover up Y, it looks like X is 10. Connect it with as straight a line as you can. There we go. And shaded down. All right, now I'll do my blue one. If X is 0, Y is 8. And if Y is 0, X is 4. These are easy numbers. And that one is also shaded below. So once again, you guys, I'm trying not to do too much shading because it makes the board so dirty. Once again, do you see a shape emerging right here that would be shaded green and blue both? So let's make a list of some points now. So most of them I know, 0, 5, 0, 0, 4, 0, and then drat, I gotta find this guy, which is the intersection of blue and green. So 2X plus 4Y is 20. 4X plus 2Y is 16. Now you will do whatever you want to solve this. Substitute, eliminate, or use Kramer's rule. I got 2, 4. Anybody else really get that? Or you just nodding at me? Nope, not there yet. Some of you are there. When it's really beneficial to use colors is if you throw in a third line, because each point, if I threw in a third line, I have to be careful which equations I'm using. Blue and green, I have to use blue and green equations. If it was red and green, I have to use my red and green equations. So I find it really helpful to keep them colored. Okay, and I don't care, colored ink is fine. If you've got colored ink, markers, crayons, I don't care. Or you don't have to use color if you don't want to. Now, everybody get 2, 4? So what happens next? Now we have found our shape. We found our vertices. Now we plug them into our profit. Whatever it is we're trying to maximize or minimize, we plug it in. So 0, 5 would give me 155, is that right?
Yep.
0, 0, that's my minimum. I don't make any suits, I don't make any money. 4, 0 is, what is that, 136?
Yep.
And then 2, 4, remember, this is X and Y. So 34 times 2 plus 31 times 4, 192 for this one. Okay, so now we write our conclusion. Remember, you were trying to maximize profit, so what's your conclusion? He should make, and I don't care, he should, the tailor should, the words here are, the idea is what's important. So he should make what?
2 knit.
2 knits and 4 worsted, I don't even know what that is, but 4 worsted suits for a profit of, what do we say, $192? We'll do the other group, there's one more, we'll do it next time. And then you know what, guys? We're at the end, so it'll be time to start practicing and all that. Have I given you practice tests yet?
No.
All right, we'll get that
That
done.
can be next week.
That's will be next
We'll
week.
send it off to or not.
Okay, all right. Good job, you guys. Those can be tough, but are you starting to at least get part of the hang of it?
Yep.